Today I'm in the kitchen making bright and colorful bell peppers packed with rich ground beef and tomato sauce, a layer of seasoned ricotta cheese, and a generous helping of crusty melted cheese on top. This is what my family calls lasagna stuffed peppers. This is a great meal if you're wanting to up your veggie content or if you're craving a lasagna dinner but trying to swap out some carbs. I'm Rebecca and welcome to the kitchen. This is how I make lasagna stuffed peppers. I'm going to start off by cooking my meat. In a large sauce pot over medium-high heat, add 2 pounds of lean ground beef. Stir and mash it occasionally to break up any chunks and to make sure the beef is cooking evenly. I have this non-metal masher that works really great for breaking up ground meat, but you can just as well use the back of a wooden spoon. I'm going to keep an eye on my meat, stir it occasionally until it's fully browned and you can no longer see any pink. Now I'm going to add the tomato sauce to the meat. Any small jar of tomato sauce you love will work great for this recipe. I typically keep cans of tomatoes on hand and just turn them into sauce or whatever other tomato ingredient I need. To make a really simple sauce, I'm going to puree the tomatoes with my immersion blender and then sprinkle in about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Give this a quick mix, and this is going to be my really quick and easy sauce that works perfectly for this recipe. I'm going to add about a jar's worth of the sauce to my meat and stir to combine. I'm going to let the meat and sauce simmer and infuse with flavor while I get my peppers ready. This recipe will make enough to fill 6 to 8 good-sized peppers. Now to prepare the peppers, you can either cut them in half for smaller sized portions or you can remove the top, seeds, and pith but leave the peppers whole. I love to make them this way just because the presentation is so much nicer, but I'll leave that part up to you. Any color bell pepper will work for this recipe. The green peppers will tend to be more firm and have a thicker outer wall than their more colorful counterparts. Green peppers are generally just unripe peppers, and they will have a less sweet and tougher taste and texture. Green peppers will tend to need a few more minutes in the oven to fully soften, so keep that in mind when you're cooking the dish later on. To make the cheese filling for this recipe, I'm going to do the same thing I do for my lasagna, seasoned ricotta cheese. I'm using about 1/2 container of ricotta cheese, which works out to be 237 grams. I'm going to season this with 1 teaspoon of dried parsley and 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. Stand your peppers up in an oven-proof dish. Most peppers tend to have an uneven bottom, so they will need to lean against each other to stop themselves from tipping over in the oven. Remove the ground meat mixture from the heat, and now I can get to filling my peppers. I'm going to layer these ingredients into my pepper just as I would a lasagna. Starting off with the ground beef, fill the pepper about 1/2 of the way. Use a spoon to press the meat down and to the sides of the pepper to make sure it makes its way into the entire cavity. Next, spoon in a layer of the cheese mixture and pat it down with the back of the spoon. Finally, fill the pepper up with the meat sauce. Continue layering in the ingredients until all of the peppers are filled. Finally, I'm going to top all the peppers with a good helping of mozzarella cheese. These are ready to go into the oven. I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. The peppers need about 35 to 40 minutes to fully cook and soften. The cheese should be nicely melted and have a few spots of crusty golden brown on top. Remove from the oven, cool for a few minutes, and then serve. Enjoy!